Welcome back to Diary of a Micro Budget Filmmaker. Day number, I don't know what, is probably, I think I checked, didn't I? I think it's been a year since I've been doing this. In some of those early ones, I would post 2 or 3 a week, and then I've been doing one a week, I think, since the movie started, or I might have missed one. But, anyways, this is probably about number 50, 52, 53. So about a year of doing the vlogs. It's not a very good word to say. What has been vlogging this week? Well, the week before, we did the second part of the music, and so I plugged that in. And then over this past week, I sent about 8 files. Well, I put them in Google Drive and sent the links to Reese and Brett to listen to. I sent them to Johnny, the musician, the composer, whatever, and have not heard back from him. I've heard back a little from Reese. Brett's going to review them still today. I'm recording this a little earlier than normal because I'm going to Epic, that Elvis Presley movie, tonight at our local theater. And part of the reason I'm going, part is because I hear it's a good movie, but the other part is that this is one of the theaters where I might be able to show my film on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. And so one of the people whose house we use knows the owners really well and was going to talk to them. She said she left a message. I sort of know them, not really. They wouldn't know who I am, I don't think. But I'm going to go a little early and hopefully talk to the person or the husband and wife and see what's cooking there. The other thing, I think I already mentioned, there's one, the NCG chain. The only way they'll do it, you have to buy out the whole theater and buy like a $10 coupon for popcorns and pop. And so they have been, they're going, oh, you better book it. You better book it. And I'm like, well, first of all, the movie's not ready, so I can't book it. And second of all, I don't know that I could predict 30 days or 60 days ahead how many people I'm going to be able to get to come. So that's a bit of a pickle. This Friday, I'm going to Project Hail Mary with my oldest son and his wife, which I hear is very good. So I'm excited about that. But I am going to talk to its Celebration Cinema, which I think is just a Midwest chain. I don't think it's all over the place. And I think I filmed or I showed at least 2 of my previous movies there. So we'll see what sort of deal they have. And I believe I mentioned that Regal Cinema is pretty much a no because they work through distributors. And I emailed the place they told me to email 10 days ago, I think, and I've heard not a word back. So in terms of what I've been doing for the movie, I have been writing, well, yesterday, maybe for an hour, hour and a half, I wrote a little bit on the script for my next film, hopefully. Unfortunately, not to give any spoilers, but I watched the second Disclosure Day trailer, the new movie from Steven Spielberg, and the premise is somewhat similar, obviously on a totally different scale. So it's not like I'm worried that he's stolen my idea or I'm not going to be able to make the film because of that, but it's kind of interesting to see. So apart from that, I have been editing, and I'm just going to, and it's really not much editing. It's mostly picture in picture. It's mostly sound that I've been doing. So I'm on the sound panel of DaVinci. So this is Fairlight, and these are the tracks. So I've got 3 dialogue tracks, and I've got an ambience track, so birds in the background or car sounds or whatever. Then I've got an effects track, so that could be doorbell rings or beeps or honks or whatever. And then I've got the music down here, and I've got 2 tracks for music. The reason I did that is because he originally recorded some of this, and I've redone some. Like here, this would be one from a previous take. And so right now you can see about how much music there is in the film. Oh, I do have some down on music too. I don't know what all this is down here. So I've been going through and so you can see there's a long montage here, which we won't give away at this point. So what I've been doing is going through and leveling the dialogue, DaVinci has got some pretty nice tools that Premiere Pro, I mean, Audition has, and I don't know how they work, but this AO voice isolation, where if you turn it on, you can say, I want the voice isolated 100%, which I haven't ever used that high because I assume it would sound fairly artificial. So depending what the scene is. And so this gets rid of like a little bit of wind noise to some extent, background sounds, little incidental sounds that you don't want in. And it does a really good job as far as I'm concerned. So I usually dial it in somewhere between 20 and 30. At some point, probably after the movie's out and there's no big secrets, not that you will have seen this, unless some miracle happens, maybe you will have seen it. But I'll go through maybe a scene or so for some people who are interested to show you how that works. And then there's this, so then I'm going to turn this off. The dialogue leveler, which is another kind of cool thing, and who knows how it works, but you can do these reduce loud dialogue, you can lift soft dialogue, background reduction, and then output gain. And I know enough to know that it can work. And I haven't used it in all of the dialogue, but I definitely used it in some. So that's pretty cool. The music remixer, obviously, have no use for a lot of these stuff. No use for. And then, there's a whole bunch of things. And the main plugins I've been using are the EQ, because I have I won't do it because I don't want to mess anything up. But you could put in like a phone filter that I made myself, which is no big deal. It's just basically a high pass filter. And you could do, a little bit of reverb, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But most of this stuff on here, I haven't really had use for because we had pretty good audio to begin with. So I've been looking a lot of audio tracks this week, although I have done some minor editing. In fact, Reese just asked me if I could look at 2 scenes, and so I might do that also. Hopefully you've watched the trailer, because it is out. As you know, right now we've got 300 views. I just literally checked 300 views on the Mindful Entertainment website, YouTube channel, and about 55, I think, on Shea Bros, which is Reese and Brett's, and probably a handful on my other YouTube channel where I do other stuff. So somewhere maybe around 400, which you go, wow, that's pretty not much. But considering all we're doing is sharing it on like Facebook and texting people and emails and stuff like that, I guess it's not bad. Obviously, we need eventually to get it into the thousands, hint, hint. So if you are watching this either religiously or agnostically, and you want to help or think that, hey, that trailer looks sort of interesting, please do share it and give it a thumbs up and blah, 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 all that stuff. The trailer, I think the trailer for my last movie, The Key, because it ended up on, where, Amazon Prime, and I'm getting at least 30 cents a month. So that's great. But that's got like 10 or 12,000 views. And I don't know if that had to do with because it was on Amazon exactly or what, but wouldn't that be cool to get this up? Wink, wink again. So, yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. Here is a little sneak peek. Well, you saw it on the trailer. This is the logo, which is kind of cool. That's all I'm going to show. So that's kind of, let's go off of Pick and back to Jack, because that's who you really paid to see. So yeah, I did also in Blender. I think Brett had this idea maybe before I did the last one. Do you know Blender? I don't know if you know Blender, but it's a 3D modeling. You can composite, you can motion track, you can do animation, you can do all kinds of stuff. It's an all-in-one free open source program, and it's awesome. I'm okay at it for what it needs, what I need to get out of it, but I'm not anywhere near a master. I'm probably a 2.5 out of 10. But one of the things I did was Brett said, well, wow, you should do this in Blender. So there's the posters on the walls that I've talked about that are a real pain. and it just didn't look right. I put these posters on in DaVinci, and they just never looked right. They just always look fake, even though it's a fake poster. So I went into Blender and set up the scene, and won't go into the details now, but it will actually render out the poster as if it was shot by a camera, and you can dial in the focal length, and then also you can focus the camera in the scene and then let the poster go out of focus, because that's one of the key things is how much out of focus do you make a poster, or you make anything that you're putting in the background. And so I did that, and the results are pretty good. I've done some additional color correction, and so cross my fingers. I think I've got that part solved-ish. I'm not going to say any more than that. But that is a good feeling. Not a whole lot else. I almost ordered some posters from Poster Ninja, but I had a question about what kind of paper stock I should get it printed on, so I sent them an email on Friday. I don't know where they're located or when they answer. They haven't answered yet, and I'm only going to get like 3 or 4, so they're going to be like 10. Well, that's the thing. I don't know what kind of paper, so it may end up being $12 or $13 each or something like that, because you'd have to get like 100 or 1,000 to get the price way down, and I have no need for that. But if you want one, let me know, and I'll charge you my cost plus shipping plus a little more for the kitty. I did put $150 more in the Mindful Entertainment bank account that I had earned through miscellaneous things. So at some point, I think there's probably $1,200 in it, maybe $1,100 at some point. That is going to have to go down in order to make it ultimately go back up. I was hoping to see the banker. In fact, I don't know if I have her business card. I was hoping to see the banker that I talked to when I opened the account last like May or something like that. And I told her what I was doing, and she's like, oh yeah, well, okay. Because she's like, when are you going to start putting more money in here? And I said, I don't know. I got to make the movie first. So I wanted to show her the trailer, which I never got a chance to, at least not yet, but maybe someday I will. Pardon my hair. It's sticking up. And so a little bit rambling, but that is pretty much the size of my week. People who have seen the trailer generally like it. One person thought it was too long. No big surprise. Oh, the other thing I did was Sky, who is our young starlet. I sent her some scenes, some parts of scenes, because she wanted them for her reel. So that was good that I got a chance to do that. And yeah, things go on. We're getting a little closer. Probably the next opportunity we will have to add to or redo or something, the music will be 1st of April. So this week I'm going to Arizona for basically 2.5 days for work. So I won't be doing anything on the movie while I'm gone. And next weekend, next weekend I've got to do some filming of a local play to make a little more money that I can put in the Mindful Entertainment bank account. Wow, really running on. Sorry about that. But I will cut it off for now. Again, please, please, please share this. Tell people about it. If you've seen the trailer, see it again. Tell someone to watch it. And join me, continue coming along with me, I should say, on my journey of a micro-budget filmmaker.